What's good, family? Today I want to talk to you about gang stalking. I brought up this topic because this is very important. I really wanted to discuss it and bring it to you guys' attention. I was a victim of gang stalking. I have spoke to people who were victims of gang stalking. So you already know what it is. Let's get it.
Dr. Shumate said it is common for plaintiffs to have paranoid beliefs about GPS, telecommunications, radio frequencies, artificial intelligence, and hacking of social media and financial accounts. The plaintiffs try frantically to avoid, prevent, or fight against their reported harassment. These efforts include drawing attention to the perceived harm by taking legal action, such as filing police reports and seeking criminal charges or filing lawsuits against the perceived government entities. Latest research. Few studies examined gang stalking claims in the courts. The researchers reviewed American federal cases published between 2010 and 2023 that included the term gang stalking. They completed qualitative analyses of judges' opinions in 80 cases, looking for specific words, themes, and concepts. In 90% of the cases, plaintiffs represented themselves, possibly an indication that attorneys declined to represent them in their case.
So I want to pause it right here. Attorneys, so I want to address two things. Number one of the most common things that happen to a lot of people is their social media accounts being hacked. I remember mine had got hacked in the past 1 or 2 times. Okay, I was unbothered, but it was happening 15, 20 times and I was livid. The second thing that I want to talk about is attorneys. Attorneys probably have turned down a lot of these cases is because they're probably very difficult cases to solve. And they probably take an extremely long time to solve the cases because think about it. You have to do investigation, right? That can last either from a couple of months to a couple of years. And even if you do catch the people, you're not really getting to the root of the problem. You're just catching fall guys. So it's probably going to happen again and again and again and again.
Nearly 3/4 asked that legal fees be waived. Many plaintiffs also incorrectly referenced inappropriate laws. Most claimed their civil or constitutional rights were violated or claimed damages. About 82% referenced multi-entity conspiracies, while about 62% referenced technology or devices. The gang stalkers included respondents at every level of government, court, and police, American government agencies in the military, intelligence, and healthcare sectors, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Federal Communications Commission. Banks, phone companies, healthcare providers, secret societies, and random businesses have also been accused of gang stalking. Court characterizations.
Wow.
Courts tend to view these claims unfavorably and rule against these plaintiffs, often referring to fantastical statements unsupported by evidence. While courts rarely mention psychiatric diagnoses in the publicly available opinions, some plaintiffs reported emotional distress, post-traumatic stress disorder, having a mental breakdown from ongoing gang stalking, or suicidal thoughts. Most cases had portions dismissed on procedural grounds because of meritless claims or both. In some cases, the court allowed the plaintiff to amend their complaints. Dr. Shumate said courts seemed hesitant to dismiss cases entirely, but
You see, courts probably seem hesitant to dismiss the case entirely on the behalf that they know that the victims are probably telling the truth because they probably get a lot of victims that say the same or similar things, but they know that they don't have enough evidence and proof to actually prove what they're saying is true. But they probably know that if they keep the case open, then they can collect the evidence to the point where after a certain amount of time, the case can actually be solved.
provided plaintiffs with an opportunity to provide evidence that directly linked the respondents to the relevant issues. At the end of the presentation, Dr. Motley reviewed 2 anonymized cases as examples that highlight several prominent themes identified in their research project, including allegations of multi-entity conspiracies involving the use of technology to covertly cause physical symptoms in targeted individuals, causing them great distress. Written by Virginia St. Dennis and approved by Drs. Emma Hamilton, Matthew W. Motley, and Colin Shumate.
Stalkers have a new tool for tracking and monitoring their victims. They're using mobile apps and digital surveillance software, better known as spyware. It can remotely access text messages, emails, and calls. Stalkers can also track their target's location and even turn on a device's camera and microphone.
Wow, now that's a whole different level of evading someone's privacy. And I look at it like this: that's a different type of sickness. And it's a special place for people like that in hell. Because if you have to go that far to stalk someone, that goes to show you your level of evil intentions. If you're not doing it to investigate a crime or to bring justice into someone's life when it comes to a legal battle, etc. So, it is what it is, but I digress.
You came in our home, hacking our television and looking at us in our most, private moments. Bruh. If I ever get a hold of you.
Whitney, a mother of 11 from California, has been experiencing strange activity on her TV. It all began 6 months ago. The TV would randomly switch on their own. Initially, Whitney thought it might just be a glitch in the cable and didn't think much of it. But one day, when she and her daughter were having a funny conversation and laughing, suddenly a message appeared on their TV saying, "Whitney, you aren't funny." This confused Whitney, and her daughter started crying, thinking it was a ghost. Things started getting intense when the hacker began displaying inappropriate videos on Whitney's TV, which her children could see. At first, she suspected her son, but he insisted it wasn't him. That's when she realized it was a serious issue.
6 months ago, our TV just started changing randomly on its own. We didn't know what was going on, so we called Xfinity. We got a new box, we got a new remote. And after that, it started happening again. So we got another box and another remote from Xfinity. And that time, the technician took all the old boxes and all the old remotes that we've had, whenever. So they did that. We thought, oh, it's fresh and new, it's all good. Then like 3 days later, after that technician leaves, it starts again. And they're really...
Yo, at this point, if I keep having to replace the remote in the box and it keeps happening, eventually I'm replacing the TV as well. Or I'm going to just move out the house. But I digress.
Really started with them just changing the station a whole bunch of times. And we didn't know what was going on with that. I thought maybe it was a defective remote or box as well. This is why we called and, got, Xfinity to come and bring us new equipment. Twice. And it was still happening. So then I started, getting really confused because it was like, okay, I keep turning this stuff in and it keeps on happening. So what's next? So I started talking to Xfinity, seeing what they could do to help. They kept saying it was nothing major, whatever, maybe get another box and another remote again. I was like, okay, I'll entertain that. But then the TV started saying stuff. Me and my kids were up one morning, we're in the kitchen getting ready for school, and we started laughing about something. And the TV was like, "You're not funny."
And the way they would talk to us at first is they would put it into a YouTube search engine.
Yep.
And that's how we would be able to read what he was saying to us.
Yep. And then after that, I was just like, whoa, the TV said, we're not funny or whatever. Like, that's weird. Like, how do they know we were laughing? Then I was talking about my old school days where I used to fight. They're going to pop up and say, "Whitney, you can't fight." How does this person know my name? You know what I mean? How does this person know what we've been talking about? So I was already freaked out from there. My daughter started crying.
I thought it was a ghost.
She thought it was a ghost or a spirit, coming through the television trying to talk to us at the time. And, at first we was all freaked out by it too. But that wasn't the case, y'all. And this is only the beginning. Once again, not touching nothing, not pressing nothing. And this person is talking about they David Kong into my remote. How? Like I said yesterday, only one remote to each box. If I got the remote right here and I ain't saying nothing, I ain't typing nothing, I ain't pressing nothing, how's that thing telling me they David Kong? We are recording you because you're a scary bitch. Fly your ass to Fresno. Fly your ass to Fresno. Fly your ass to Fresno. You ain't with that. You a scary ass who on somebody's TV hacking that shit. Go to hell. Yep. Oh, girl, I'll stomp you down. That's why you over here talking to a TV and not coming to Fresno. Come your ass to Fresno. I don't care.
I don't care. Look what you're doing. You're a loser. You're on somebody's TV playing around. You're a loser. Black men ain't better than shit. They all men suck.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there because this is ridiculous and it's getting out of hand, right? For him to make a comparison on her TV screen is highly disrespectful. For him to even, him or her, whoever it is on the other line, I don't know if it's a he or a she, but for them to hack her device and make a comparison between two different men is 100% immoral. However, I can say this. It says in the Bible that everyone is created equally. So whenever I see this comparison thing between two different men, it makes me livid.
I want to go there. And I don't care. You keep talking about how many kids I got.
Frustrated with the intruders, Whitney started arguing with them, fully aware that they were listening to everything.
Stinking ass Gucci. Gucci. Give a life, ho.
If you are dealing with a severe form of narcissistic abuse.
So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video right here because she makes some very valid points. I really love this video because she talks about gang stalking on a smaller scale, and she tells you what type and what kind of people we're actually dealing with.
Abuse. They can recruit flying monkeys to gang stalk you, and it's terrifying and it makes you feel crazy. Gang stalking is basically when an entire family or a big group of co-workers bullies you and tries to make you feel like you are an abuser or insane. When you have 3, 4, 5, 10 people coming at you, all trying to feed you.
And that's the thing, right? Whenever you have groups of people that runs in packs, to me, those are the weakest type of people. And especially when you deal with them individually, right? And maybe that's one of the reasons why they have to run in a pack. Another thing is I want to say is I was always the type of person, if I see a group of people that are doing wrong and they're trying to get me to join, I'm going to tell them straight up, look, no, what you guys are doing is wrong and I think that you guys should stop. But unfortunately, we live in a society today where you have narcissistic people, you have flying monkeys that do not know how to control themselves, but they just follow the bandwagon, just do what everybody else tells them to do. I like to call them bots. But I'm gonna continue this video.
The same narrative, it can make you feel worthless and scared. They might make fake social media accounts to continue to harass you, and they might even recruit unwilling participants who feed into the narrative that they're trying to paint of you. So if you feel like you are being gang stalked by a narcissist or a group of narcissists, cut them all off, block them anywhere, move on with your life.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video right there. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video on gang stalking. Hopefully you guys are much more knowledgeable now. And till next time, y'all, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will get back with you guys. You already know what it is. Deuces.